It's day 33, and yesterday on day 32, I mentioned that I'm turning 50 in now 4 days, and I said this. The bulk of the introspection that I ever do is lamenting all the mistakes and missed opportunities and general feeling of wasted life that I feel like I've compiled over the years. And I had a thought today about a way to reframe some of that stuff. I think this is a place where my own personal trauma and the effects that it's had on me and the things that I need to work through interacts in a particularly toxic way with some of the societal conventions, rules, priorities that we have, particularly in the fundamentalist capitalist paradigm. I've mentioned before, probably ad nauseum, that I really struggle to feel positive emotions. Excited, proud, happy, things like that. And one place where that manifests particularly is when I'm thinking about things that I have done. People talk about the satisfaction of completing a task or being proud of something that they've created. And I really have a hard time relating to anything like that. And so I can think intellectually that this thing that I did was useful, or I can know that I got positive feedback from a client, say, but I don't get that emotional experience. And particularly, I don't get any kind of neurotransmitter hit either. And so because the positive associations I have with the things that I've accomplished are intellectual, I find myself wanting to support that with some kind of objective measure of how good it was, how useful. And unfortunately, in the system that we live in, the most objective measure of success is money. For a very long time, I have struggled to find a way to make money that is also satisfying, enriching, rewarding, in part because I don't have much access to that set of emotions, but also because for various other reasons that are also sourced in some of that same mess of trauma and developmental experiences, I have a hard time sustaining the work that I do find exciting or interesting, at least in the beginning, because the weight of feeling all of the nerves and the places where it's not as good as I want it to be and the disappointment when I mess something up, feeling all of that, especially when I'm working on a creative project by myself, without, again, those positive emotions to balance it out, ends up being really discouraging. And so I lose momentum. So when I look back on the things that I have accomplished in my life, I sort of have these two simultaneous tracks of, if I managed to do it, it couldn't have been that difficult. I don't tend to feel pride or satisfaction, so that probably means that whatever I did, anybody could do. It's not that big a deal. And I also, almost instinctually, I think, fall back on, well, it's great that I did this thing, got this credential, completed this task, learned how to do this thing. But if I haven't been able to make any money at it, what's the point? Which is a lie and a trap. And a paradigm that's been impressed on us by the dominant culture. And I know that intellectually, but emotionally, I am very primed to internalize it because I don't have the internal reward system, or at least it's not functioning. And so the external reward system is extra important to me. And the external validation of being able to make a living doing something ends up being the benchmark that I reach for and haven't been able to achieve. The good news is I can see the trap. I don't quite know how to pick the lock yet, but I can at least perceive it. And for myself and for you, I want us both to know that the things you know, the things you've learned, the things you can do, your perspective on the world, your insight, your experience, what you bring to the world is unique and special. All of those things individually and all of them together are things you should be proud of. If you can make money doing something that you enjoy, that's great. And if you can't, that says nothing about the value you bring to the world. You are much more than the money that you earn. And you bring much more to the people who love you than a paycheck. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you again soon.